So when it comes to getting rid of attachments, the idea is that you are something that is real and you want to get rid of attachments so that you can feel good, so that you can be free. But that's actually a misconception. The reality is actually, and it took me a long time to find that out, that attachments, they may come in the form of a thought or a feeling or a story. Those attachments are never really attachments. You just have to find out who are they attached to. The idea is that those attachments are attached to someone like me. I am the one that has this attachment and I want to get rid of that attachment so that I can remain peaceful. But when you're sitting down and you're just watching your thoughts and feelings coming and going, you find that there's actually no one that has those thoughts. They're just coming and going. They're not the story that the brain is or the mind is telling. It's not your story, it's just a story. And that thought that says it's my story is just a thought. So you cannot get rid of attachments. Attachments attached to what? Attached to who? There's only the recognition that there's no one that has those attachments. It's just thoughts. You cannot get rid of attachments so you can remain. The one that thinks I can remain peaceful after getting rid of attachments, that one never existed. It's just thoughts and feelings and appearances and body and pain and pleasure, belonging to no one. When that is realized, what happens is that there's an allowance, there's like a freedom or an opening that you can finally sit down and relax in that pain, knowing that no one's here that can change anything about the moment. So there's finally a relaxation, an okayness. It's finally allowed to be as it is. There's something you might call attachment. So there's an attachment. Maybe there's a form of, a story that the mind tells itself. There's like this story, then there's a feeling, and normally there's like an imagined entity that tries to stop it. Like that entity is using the knowledge, spiritual knowledge, to get rid of the attachment. Breathe it away. It doesn't work. Maybe for a short period of time, but then you are left as a separate self, which will create a new sense of suffering, because separate self means suffering. So, but when you know that you are not there, there's just this, feeling, pain, or suffering, the story that the mind is telling itself, but there's no one actually left that could try to get rid of it, because the one that's trying to get rid of it is also seen as just a thought. Then you can just let it arise, and there's no one left that could accept it. There's just this natural acceptance of being, because your true being is always accepting. So there's just this arising of pain or suffering, or maybe even good thoughts and pleasure, maybe even that. But there's no one that has those things. It's just appearing, disappearing. And that's detachment. So thoughts stay, but you don't. So in meditation, there's no one that's doing the meditation. They're just natural things that arise, thoughts, feelings. Maybe you're listening to meditation music, but there's no one left that is doing the meditation, because doing meditation implies that there's something to be done, which is completely missing the point of what meditation actually is. So you're sitting down and you're doing nothing. There's no effort involved. Maybe it feels like effort, but it's effortless to recognize the effort. And maybe there's a conditioned thought that says, I have to get rid of that. So you're also naturally observing that thought. It took me a long time to actually understand how easy it is. Because I was watching a lot of Muji videos, and he said, you're simply watching the thoughts like clouds. And I was like, man, it takes a lot of effort to watch. I have to watch. I'm doing the watching, so it took a lot of effort, but until something surrendered, because I thought, man, I don't want to do this anymore, so I simply gave up. And I was like, so just let it be attached, just let it be. I'm not trying to be spiritual anymore. I'm not trying to be the observer anymore. I'm not trying anymore. But what I noticed in that is that, so when I did this, what I noticed is that I'm naturally watching. So it's happening on its own. So when someone's telling you simply watch, what it means is actually relax, because you're watching. It's watching by itself. You don't have to do anything. You cannot do anything. It's simply that easy. There's a sensation you don't like, or there's a sensation, maybe suffering. There's an entity in the form of a thought that says, I don't like this. And it says, this spiritual teacher said, when I have a negative thought or a negative feeling, I should practice like this to get rid of that, so that I can become free and raise my vibration. And when I have a high vibration, then I can manifest this and that. Then I have a high life. But right now I'm here, I'm trying too hard and I'm not getting anywhere. So you see, that's just a hamster wheel. You're not going anywhere. You're just creating your own suffering. So what you can do or not do is simply be as you are, knowing that the witness inside of you, which is your real self, is always in a meditation state. It's always witnessing. There's no real I that can say, I am attached. The witness is never attached. So you cannot practice detachment.